Welcome to the Growth Lottery series. The following guys featured hit said Growth Lottery and for one reason or another haven't taken it as far as their insane physical blessings suggested they would. What is the Growth Lottery? Well, basketball, unlike any other sport, is played at a level higher than most people can stand and reach without jumping, 10 feet to be exact. Therefore, the closer you are to reaching that height, the better chance you have to making the NBA. Whether you're blessed with height and or reach, or you're super athletic and can get to the same height as a player taller than yourself, you're now in position to fast track yourself to millions of dollars and peak social hierarchy. You hit the Growth Lottery. Few are born in this club, and in this new series, we'll strictly be talking about them. First up, Christopher McCULLOUGH, born February 5th, 1995. It's your boy JC, Stunt Their Growth. Let's get it, man. Chris McCULLOUGH is from the Bronx, New York. He's 6'11", 200 pounds with a 7'2.5" wingspan and a vertical over 3 feet or 36 inches. Physically, it gets no better than that when asking God to bless your child with the tools he'll need to play the sport you wish you could. I'm sure his parents didn't, but were blessed anyway. With those attributes combined with the fact he could dribble a little, could run the floor with giraffe-like fluidity, and could stand 15 to 20 feet away from the rim and shoot if needed, made McCULLOUGH a very intriguing prospect. One that only played 16 games in college and was still a first-round pick, coming off and in the process of rehabbing a serious knee injury. Stunt number one, it comes with the territory. Along with the pros of hitting the Growth Lottery, certain cons come along with it. Let's take some of my past features of Derrick Rose and Zion Williamson, who obviously didn't hit the height lottery, but two of the most athletically gifted, most explosive, agile, and highest leapers in the history of the NBA. But what came with that? For Rose, his lottery was hitting the speed and leaping aspect, seeing as besides Westbrook, I haven't seen a point guard 6'3" and under jump like him, was equally as fast and blessed with lateral quickness as well. On top of that, he was as agile a contortionist as they came. You hear some guys mention fast twitch muscle, well they must have learned that phrase watching Mr. Rose. Then there's Zion. I mean, the guy is 300 pounds, jumps out the gym to put it lightly, strong as a virgin bull, has speed and the same fast twitch ability more or less than D Rose. But both those guys dealt with or are dealing with body issues. In Rose's case, his knee injuries, which were the result of him getting up so high and never learning how to land properly, took a toll on his body, broke it down, and made him just a really good player instead of a clear-cut Hall of Famer and top 5 point guard ever like he was on pace to be. For Zion, he's just beginning his career and already he's under minute restrictions, overweight after just a few months off, has had operations on his knees, and is only 20 years old. Take away his athleticism and he's not even an NBA player by a long shot. My point is, it's not all sweet hitting the Growth Lottery, and for Chris, his height was a blessing, but also caused him to be weak in the knees. Being that tall and able to run and move as quickly as he could, you're always going to have to worry about lower extremity problems. Leaving high school, he was considered a top 10 NBA draft pick and clear-cut one-and-done player after spending the required year removed from high school. He committed to Syracuse over Connecticut, Arizona, and Florida State. It was against Florida State where he actually experienced his first growth stunt. In an early January game against the Seminoles, McCULLOUGH suffered a torn ACL that required surgery, and after just 16 games, his season was cut short. He would also injure his other knee during his international pro career. He's had more than a few lower injuries, with these two being the most serious. Instead of him being the lottery talent NBA teams were salivating for, he had to settle for the 29th overall pick, almost landing in the second round. Stunt number two, I want to go, right now. It's what Chris informed his parents after his injury and everyone calling to know what Chris's future plans were. He didn't want to wait another year. Instead, continue the path his mind was set on. That's being a one and done player. In his 16 games with the Orange, he averaged 9 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2.1 blocks, 2.2 turnovers, shot 56% from the free throw line, and 47% from the field. For a guy outside the growth lottery, you couldn't make a G League team with stats like that. But for Chris McCULLOUGH, NBA teams, well, at least the Brooklyn Nets, thought highly enough of him that after prematurely leaving school, a torn ACL, having a baby right before the draft, which opens up focus questions, seeing as kids take time away from training, and also numbers issues, they still took him with their only first round pick in 2015 over Kevon Looney and Montrezl Harrell. No one knew what those guys would turn out to be, and Looney is still a promising work in progress. But no disrespect to Chris, it was easier to see what his career could turn out to be than with the aforementioned guys. Like my last feature, Ricky Leto, I don't really get what was so hard about coming back to school for just one more season. I do get that injury may have put him in a mindset like, I gotta strike now because what if this happens again? Or maybe he wasn't fit for having to adhere to academic requirements while focusing on sports. Or maybe he knew with a kid on the way, he had to do something to put food on the table. I get it. I respect it. Especially the latter. But another year of sacrifice and finding ways to take care of a little one could have changed his family's lives for the longer haul. Granted, as we'll see later, things didn't turn out so bad. He would miss the first half of his rookie season still rehabbing his knee, and upon his return, didn't give the Nets the return of investment they waited for. He debuted with 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block in just under 11 minutes off the bench. He averaged 4.7 points, 2.8 rebounds, shot 47% from the free throw line, and a 40% field goal percentage in 24 games as a rookie in 15 minutes. His second year was more or less of the same, except he was assigned to the D-League more than a few times and only appeared in 14 games. He was traded to the Wizards midway through that second year, where he wasn't filling the sheets like they hoped, so after assignments to the D-League once again, he was signed by Detroit but waived a few days later, marking the last we'd see of him in an NBA jersey. The decision to leave school when he clearly wasn't ready hurt him more than we'll ever know if it could have helped. I just know that a healthy season at Syracuse, even if his stats didn't take that big of a leap, with his growth lottery attributes, he would have went higher in the draft and be much more prepared. Stunt number 3, development. During the draft process, questions about McCULLOUGH's game centered around his development strength-wise, his toughness, his motor, ability to get down in a stance and play defense, intensity, and willingness to compete in the paint. Most would sum that up and say he seemed soft. Well, what do you expect drafting a guy with not even one full year of high-level basketball, where there's some guys that can match your physical gifts in one way or another? Not high school, where you were clearly the biggest player most nights. Only playing 16 games in college was clear indication that this prospect isn't ready to contribute for you anytime soon. And on top of that, he's coming off a substantial injury to a part of the body you don't want from a guy his height. If he had questions about his toughness and motor then, what do you think he's going to come back and be? Well, those concerns about his game prior to draft night were proven over the course of his NBA stint. And by 2018, just 3 years after being drafted, instead of being a rookie in the league, he was embarking on a last-ditch overseas career. A career he did find lots of success. In the PBA, he's had career highs of 47, 51, and won a championship in 2019. With all that said, this guy is still just 25 years old and possibly has another opportunity at making the NBA once again. For growth lottery guys, that's always an option. He's still young and he's still tall. Now that he's had some pro experience and even championship pedigree, who knows what could happen. Salute to him, much respect, but for these reasons, his growth was Stunted. Let me know down in the comments what growth lottery prospect you think I should do next. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.